Dick Grayson can no longer jump, and Bruce Wayne has taken on the role of Nightwing in his absence. Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand, then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Nightwing recently gained a severe phobia of heights that prevented him from being the hero that he once was, and so he left to go see Deadman at Nanda Parbat to overcome this new fear. Before he left, Heartless had convinced Bloodhaven that Dick Grayson was heartless, and to keep the streets safe while Dick is away, Bruce has put on the black and blue and took up the role of Nightwing to give the city some hope. This is Nightwing issues 117 and 118 by Tom Taylor, the conclusion to Fallen Grayson. I hope you enjoy. Dick Grayson hangs from a high wire rope. Memories of the last time he trained with Boston Brand as a child flashing through his mind. Now, when Dick opens his mouth, it is Boston's words that escape his lips. "It's okay, I'm here with you, Dick," Boston says. Deadman's spirit exits Dick's body, leaving the hero hanging from the rope. "But you have to do the next part by yourself," Boston tells him. But Dick is immediately gripped with fear. Brand tries to coach him through his fear, just like he did when Dick was a child, but it doesn't work. Overcome with fear, Dick blacks out and plummets from the rope. When he opens his eyes, Deadman is floating over him. "What happened?" Dick groans. Deadman shrugs. "Well, the good news is you dropped. The bad news is you were unconscious when you did," Deadman explains. He folds his legs into a yoga pose and hovers over the hero. "There's something holding you back, something you're hiding from yourself, deep down," Boston explains, telling Dick that until he faces it, he won't be able to deal with heights. Dick leaps down from the net, frustrated with himself. Boston follows him, still floating through the air. "Exposure therapy is one thing, but you also need to know how to relax, which is something your entire family is notoriously bad at. You need an advanced course in relaxation," Boston tells him. Dick glances at him. "What are you thinking? Scented candles and a bubble bath?" he jokes. A short time later, Dick is sitting in a bath, surrounded by candles. He puts his head back and sighs in frustration, his mind flashing over the past events, trying to figure out who could have possibly poisoned him. But none of his recent villains seem right, or would have had the chance to administer a poison. Suddenly, it all snaps together. Dick sits up sharply and jumps out of the bath. He grabs a towel and rushes through the temple. Haley followed close behind and barked, unsure of the excitement, but glad to be involved. Dick rounds a corner and sees Deadman nearby and starts to shout for him. "Deadman!" he yells. Boston turns around in surprise. "You're kind of failing at relaxing, unless you find it soothing to be naked and screaming," he points out. But Dick ignores him. "Do you have internet here?" he asks, still dripping on the floor. Deadman cocks an eyebrow at him. "It's an ancient temple on top of a mountain. Of course we do," he says simply. "The people here have to do a lot of work remotely." In a short time, Dick has made a connection with Oracle back in Bloodhaven. He quickly explains that he remembered where he might have been poisoned. "At Shell Pharmaceuticals. When we helped Double Dare, Shelton Lyle offered me a glass of water," Dick begins to say. But Barbara immediately cuts him off. "And you drank it?" the hologram of Oracle yells. Dick shrugs and looks sheepish. "I'd fought security guards, come through a gunfight, and a train explosion. I was thirsty, and didn't think much of it at the time," he tells her. Oracle quickly fills Dick in that Heartless is posing as Dick Grayson, and that it seems that he knew Dick had been poisoned. "Shelton Lyle is heartless," he finally says. Barbara pauses for a moment. "Maybe. Do what you need to do. I'll have Nightwing 2 investigate Shell Pharmaceuticals," Barbara says. Dick nods and prepares to end the line, but pauses suddenly, realizing what she said. "Huh?" he asks. Back in Bloodhaven, Nightwing punches a goon in the face and whirls, elbowing another goon that was coming up from behind, dropping them both. Suddenly, his radio crackles. "Nightwing 2, Oracle calls. Bruce pulls out his Eskrima stick and files a grapple line. "What is it?" he asks. Barbara quickly fills him in on what Dick told her as Nightwing 2 swings through the air. "Nightwing thinks Shelton Lyle could be heartless," Bruce surmises. He reaches out and throws a wingding, taking out a camera. Bruce lands and quickly kicks in the door to Shell Pharmaceuticals. "I'll look into it while I'm here. I was already looking into Lyle. Going radio silent," Bruce reports as he moves into the building. Back at Nanda Parbat, Dick knows that he needs to return to his city. He needs to finish this fight, but he can't move past his fear. Boston puts a hand on his shoulder. "You still need to face whatever it is that you've pushed down so deep inside you. But I can put you in a place where you'll have no choice but to face your fear of leaping," Boston promises. The next day, Boston has taken control of Dick's body and climbed to the highest peak on the mountain. He leaves Grayson's body after tossing his rope away. "All right, Grayson, there's no way back up, and the parachute on your back is the only way down," Boston says as Dick clings to the wall. His chest is already tightening. "If you want to leave here, you're going to have to fall. Good luck, kid," Boston says before drifting away, leaving Dick alone on a small ledge. The day drifts into night, and memories flood back through his mind. As a child, Dick imagines his parents leaping out, the trapeze snapping, and them falling to their deaths. But they look up at him, calling his name. "You belong down here with us. You know you do," his parents call. Boston returns the next day, finding Dick still on the ledge. "Hey, you've been stuck here for 24 hours. I know I said I'd leave you, but I'm a ghost, not inhuman," he says as he reaches a hand out for Grayson. Dick looks up at him, tears in his eyes. "I know what I was hiding," he says. He stands, thanking Boston for helping him. "Thank you for helping me get this far," he says. He leaps off into the air, a smile on his face. "I'm ready to fall," Dick calls out. A week later in Bloodhaven, Barbara is sitting at her computer when a voice calls from behind her. "Oracle," Dick says. Barbara turns in shock to see Dick and Haley standing in the doorway. She rushes forward and leaps into his arms. "Are you okay? Are you back?" she whispers. He nods. "Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but I'm back," he tells her. A cough sounds nearby, and Dick looks up to see Bruce in a Nightwing costume. "Bruce, you filled in for me. How did you do it being me?" Dick asks as he claps Bruce on the shoulder. "I patrolled each night. The suit is snug. I quipped. Twice," Bruce tells him. Dick smiles. "Impressive." Bruce explains that they found the fear toxin poison that Lyle used, and that he is most likely heartless, but he hasn't been seen in weeks. Dick nods and promises that they will finish this, but he needs to talk to his sister first. Meanwhile, at the home of the mayor, Melinda Zuko is being held by thugs, with her father, Tony Zuko, holding a smoking gun. The house is destroyed, and the goons are preparing to bring Melinda before Heartless. Suddenly, the window shatters inward, and Nightwing leaps among the goons, moving fast and disarming them, knocking them to the ground with his Eskrima sticks. Zuko whirls and rushes out of the home, running down the stairs, his phone already in his hand. "Heartless! He's here! Dick Grayson is here!" Zuko shouts at Heartless. But Nightwing is there, slamming into Zuko and knocking him into the wall. "I saw your face!" Zuko shouts at him. Nightwing shrugs. "And I have your face on camera on the night my parents were murdered. I have the proof, and I need to see justice done." Dick snaps at him. Zuko lashes out, trying to punch the hero, but Dick dodges the blow and slams him into the wall again. "I worked something out, Zuko. Something that I always knew, and the guilt of which was pinning me down," Dick growls. He reveals that the night his parents were killed, they had changed their routine, that Dick was supposed to be the first on the rope. Heartless listens over the phone while Dick talks. Dick hits Zuko again. "You wanted to punish Haley's circus and my parents, but they were never the target. My parents weren't supposed to die. I was," Dick shouts. Later, Nightwing stands by, the lights of police cars flashing behind him. He sighs and turns back, watching as they put Tony Zuko in the back of the vehicle. It's over. His parents' killer will be brought to justice. The car pulls away and Nightwing moves off, but the hero is unaware that the police cruiser hasn't gone all that far when the passenger pulls out his service pistol and puts it to his partner's head. "Pull over here, Mac," Jorge whispers. Mac stares at him in shock. "I'm sorry, man. He has my kid," Jorge says. Meanwhile, Shelton is in his hideout, strapped to several machines that continue to pump and monitor his heart. Gerald leans over and taps a few buttons on his tablet. "You need to be careful today, Shelton. Don't overtax yourself. Blockbuster's heart has lasted longer than any other, but your body is still wearing out," he warns. Shelton nods and sits up, reaching for his Heartless mask. "That's okay. We'll have our replacement soon," he says as he pulls on the mask, promising that Dick Grayson's heart will soon beat within his chest. Later, Dick watches the news over Barbara's shoulder. Heartless has come before the city, claiming to be Dick Grayson. "People of Bloodhaven, I want you to know this is coming. I want you to know that you're about to lose. In 1 hour, my people will level Haven," Heartless tells the city, ending his transmission with a smile. Dick sighs and turns away. The rest of the Bat family reports in. They are scouring the city, searching for the children that Heartless has kidnapped. "Tim has a lead," Damien reports in. Dick stands over the bathroom sink and begins to shave his beard. "Of course he does. Keep me posted. I'm heading out," Dick says before signing off. Barbara looks at him, asking where he's going. Dick smiles at her, finishes up, and reaches for Haley's leash. "To clear my name, to take down a monster, and to walk the dog," he tells her with a smile. An hour later, Heartless leads his army of thugs towards the Haven gates, bulldozers at their backs. They pause briefly as the citizens of Bloodhaven stand before them. "Look at all these gifts. All these adults are ready to give up their lives for children. Wishes really do come true," Heartless whispers. He motions to the bulldozers and they rumble forward, pushing past the people and slamming into the statue of Alfred Pennyworth. But someone else steps out of the park. "Heartless!" Dick Grayson calls as he steps out of the park with Haley by his side. The crowd gasped in shock, pulling out their phones, snapping pictures and live streaming, murmuring about how he wasn't really Heartless. Dick steps up to Heartless and stands before him. "You tried to frame me because you wanted to hurt this city, but the people of Bloodhaven are all too used to lies, and they're resilient. They've had to be," Dick says, motioning to the crowd. Heartless smiles and leans forward. "I know who you are, Nightwing," Heartless whispers. Dick smiles and leans in as well. "And I know who you are, Shelton," he whispers back, giving Heartless pause. "I'm ready to face the full consequences of my dual identities going public. Are you?" Dick asks. But suddenly, his phone buzzes and he turns away. "Hold up, I have to take this," Dick says, holding up a finger. It's his sister, the mayor, informing him that the children have been rescued and are in police custody. Heartless no longer has any power. Dick nods and turns to the crowd, informing them that everyone's children are safe, that Heartless no longer has power over them. The army of masked goons throw down their weapons, and Dick smiles as Shelton's army disappears in moments. "You know the difference between your people and mine? My people actually like me," Dick tells him. The goons suddenly rush at Shelton, but he knocks a few of them away. Dick turns to a kid and hands him Haley's leash. Heartless is going to run now. Hold my dog, Elliot? He asks. The kid nods and Dick takes off after Heartless, who has turned and dashed from the park and begins to weave his way through traffic. Gerald, we're leaving the city. You have Zuko? Heartless shouts into his phone. At the docks, Gerald nods. I have him, he confirms, letting Heartless know that the boat is waiting for them. In the park, Haley doesn't feel like waiting and pulls free of Elliot, dashing after Dick. As he chases Heartless, Dick quickly changes into Nightwing, leaping over cars to follow the villain. But Heartless leaps over an overpass and lands 50 feet below at the docks, confident that Dick Grayson is still afraid to fall. But Nightwing has fixed his broken mind, and he doesn't hesitate, leaping from the great height and launching himself at Heartless, kicking him hard in the face and knocking his mask away. He lands in a roll and comes up in a crouch, but Gerald is waiting, a pistol aimed at the hero's head. You, he growls, thumbing back the hammer on the weapon. You think you can hurt my child? Gerald demands. But there's a growl and a bark. Haley has caught up. She leaps forward, biting into Gerald's arm. He tries to shake her loose, stumbling towards the edge of the docks. He whirls and tosses her away, the pistol going off in his hand. Haley lets out a yelp of pain and falls to the ground, with Gerald tumbling into the water. Zuko rushes to the edge of the docks, looking into the water, but he's unable to see Gerald. Meanwhile, Nightwing moves to Haley's side, cradling the wounded dog, but Shelton pushes past him, his heart-tearing weapon in hand. This all started because of you, Shelton growls at the crime boss, his heart smoking in his chest. I thought I modeled myself after you. I didn't know who I was until the flying Graysons hit the ground. But you weren't even trying to murder the parents, Shelton gasps, raising the weapon and aiming it at Zuko's head. Nightwing looks up, reaching out and shouting for Shelton to stop. But the villain smiles. At least I get to take something else from you, Dick, he snaps. He fires the weapon. The extending arm ripped through Zuko's head and sent him crashing into the water. I get to take your justice, he says with an evil smile. Dick lays Haley gently back on the ground and stalks towards his enemy. Shelton moves quickly and takes a swing, but Nightwing easily dodges it and punches him in the face. Another attack comes, but Nightwing dodges past this one as well, allowing Shelton to crack the concrete with his fist. Are you angry, hero? Shelton snarls, but Nightwing shakes his head. I'm just over it. Over you. Over everyone like you, he says. Nightwing moves in fast, hitting Shelton several times, dodging past his erratic attacks. The self-obsessed, the greedy, the entitled, Nightwing says with a sigh, hitting Shelton again and again. Purple smoke continues to swirl from Shelton's chest. He reaches down and picks up a massive crate, but he struggles and drops it, looking down at his smoking chest. What's wrong with you? Nightwing asks. Shelton falls to his knees, sweat breaking out on his forehead. Blockbuster's heart, he gasps. Nightwing moves forward. He leans down to his enemy, the man that has tried to destroy his life. Tell me how to save you, Nightwing says simply. Shelton looks up at him in shock. Even now? He gasps. Nightwing nods. Even now, he says softly. Shelton smiles weakly. His arm suddenly snaps up and he digs his fingers into Nightwing's chest, drawing blood. You can give me your heart, he shouts. But Nightwing grabs his arm and pushes him away, shoving Shelton to the ground. You're pathetic. There's nothing you can do to save me, he gasps. And Nightwing just stares down at him. What a waste. An entire life lived, and you added nothing to the world, he says. But Shelton shakes his head, reminding Dick that everyone will remember him, Shelton Lyle, the villain known as Heartless. But Dick shakes his head, explaining that he will make sure that no one will know he existed. That Oracle will erase Shelton Lyle from history, and people will only know Heartless as just some other villain that couldn't beat them. Shelton's eyes widen in horror at the thought, but his heart finally burns out and he dies on the docks. Dick puts the mask back on Shelton's face. Just another savage evil that couldn't beat us. A reminder that this city can fight monsters and win, he says as he picks up Haley and walks away. Later, Dick kneels before his parents' grave, explaining to them everything that happened, telling them how he set up trusts for the children that were orphaned by Heartless. "I'm sorry I haven't visited before now," he whispers. He is joined by his sister Melinda and her wife, and he introduces them to their parents. "I'll give you guys a moment," he says as he walks away. He hugs Barbara, who waits nearby. "Thanks for being here," he whispers. She smiles at him. "It's part of the package, Boy Wonder," she tells him. Melinda and her wife walk away, and Dick goes back to the grave, putting down a set of flowers. "These are called Pennyworth Blue. Alfred bred them. He looked after me after you," Dick says, his voice choked for a moment. "You would have liked him," he whispers. He glances back over his shoulder at Barbara. "Mom, Dad, that's Babs. I hope I get to marry her one day," he whispers. He finally stands up. "Anyway, I just wanted to finally come and say thank you. I love you. And I wanted to tell you that I found a new home. My heart is here," Dick tells them. Later, Nightwing and Batgirl sit on a construction scaffolding, Haley wagging her tail next to them as they look out over the city of Bloodhaven. For all its good and bad, it is their home. And that concludes the Fallen Grayson and the entire Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo Nightwing run. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, be sure to give it a like and comment down below your opinion of this story, as well as Tom Taylor's Nightwing run as a whole. Personally, I think he did a great job with the character and really embodied who Dick Grayson is as a person and a hero. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as it helps us out and gets you notifications when new videos go out. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.